I hope there's no line or anything. Good. Okay, guys, it has been a hot minute today, even though I wanted to get a few of these videos done earlier, but my neighbors, being the neighbors, couldn't really do much, so kind of sucked because the first 4 videos I did, I couldn't hear anything. Like, I couldn't really hear myself because of how loud they were arguing, which I don't understand why people argue outside when, if it's a personal matter, you should do it inside the house, but whatever, that's not here nor there. So, back to the paper making process. I'm using rubber gloves because it makes this thing so much easier. And ow, my pinky. And this is basically just squeezing out all of the all of the water. I didn't drain anything. It's still all the same. There you go, because I had to make sure even I could see it. It's all still the same. I didn't touch it. I didn't move it around. I didn't stir it up to make sure all the pieces were getting all wet and all that stuff. But I'm actually going to slide mine in the sink itself. And I'm using my mighty bowl for the everything at this point. Like always, if I seem like I'm a little bit louder than normal, it's because the kids just got off of school. So they tend to like to run down our street screaming bloody murder as if somebody's getting stabbed. Aww. It's not actually worry too much, bud. So if I seem like I'm being a lot louder than normal, I'm trying not to be loud, but I'm trying to talk over everybody and over traffic, and there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on in the neighborhood lately, the last few days, so it's like I'm trying to have a vocal war with them and everything else, and I also have my TV on in the background, but that's like low, so I know bloody right well none of that is going to come up on here. But basically we're just going to be squeezing out all the moisture from the paper, which I know it makes no sense if we're just going to add moisture to it again anyway when we go to blend it, but the reason why I do this and not a lot of people do it, that's kind of why I enjoy doing it, is so if I do really big batches, I actually can store it for a little bit. I think it is good for, I want to say, up to a week, I think. Having all smushed out, I actually need to move that over a little bit. Give me 1 second, because I actually have to move the camera over. But I don't have... Yeah, I do have a towel behind it. Cool. And it's perfectly okay if you don't get all of the paper chunks or the paper shreds off of your hand. That's perfectly fine. I'm just trying not to have a lot of stuff in the way, which looks like there's a lot of stuff in the way, and I don't mean to do this. There, that's a week better. I'm gonna move that out of the way for insurance. Okay, so now you guys can really see what I'm doing instead of just taking my word on what I'm doing. If think of it as like you're squeezing like you're packing a snowball, kinda. It's the best way to describe this. Like a really nice and tight, a nice and tight snowball. So, I should probably do it up more for you guys. I don't know why I'm even going to break that up because I don't really have to. Again, it's not really going to matter if, you know, when you get to take off your gloves and you still have like little bits on your hand, it's not really going to matter too much. Like I had, well, now I'm just like, yeah, now I'm on down to that fine wire and everything. So actually, I think I might be able to get one run done in this. So give me a second because there is actually a little bit of paper still in the bottom and I can't really get it all out like this. So I'm going to show you, again, I don't know why I'm trying to be this fussy, hold on. Because you do lose quite a bit of water once you squeeze everything out of it. So what I love doing now, which is something I'm so glad I thought of and bounced it off of snacks. If you're doing it in the sink, try not to have any of it, like try not to have any of the paper shreds go down the drain or it will clog and you don't want that mess. I kind of wish I knew that when I first started all of this, but I didn't think about it at the time while doing all of this. So, huge lesson learned. Don't do that. There you are. The big boy. Oh shit. So the thing that I bounced off of Snacks' beautiful head, not really, it's not really beautiful, but you guys know what I mean, is that I had the idea of, or not even the idea, just something that I didn't really want to do anymore. Because when I first started this, I kept wasting the paper pulp by the end of the day when I was done making the paper. So I had the idea of straining it, which is actually a really good idea. I'm gonna turn this over a little bit. Which is actually a really good idea because you don't waste anything. You can still continue making paper or turning the last little bit of paper pulp into whatever you want, even though that is a mouthful and it sounds fun now I say it more and more. But a mesh strainer. I don't really know how well you guys can see the holes, but it's just literally an everyday mesh strainer that works great and wonders. Some of the pulp will kind of come out a little bit, but it's not as bad as dumping like 5 more pieces of paper that you could have made from that pulp you just slid down the drain and stuff like that. So I'm going to do it for this. I haven't done this yet, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but I'm assuming it's going to work like how I'm thinking. And that's how much paper, if you can see, kinda. There's a nice little ball that I couldn't get out. And then just do it with the water. And dump it out. Ew. Try to scrape out like that little bit that just won't come out. And honestly, I would say get off my fingers what I'm about to say. I would hardcore suggest getting like bowls like this or a little bit bigger, because this is literally the 3 set that me and Snacks found. I would hardcore suggest getting these kinds of bowls for yourself for making paper specifically, instead of using cooking bowls and stuff like that, because it's not a very high chance, but there is a chance that like some of the ink or whatever paper you're using, like some of it will actually stick to the container, and nobody wants cross-contamination. Nobody wants to go to the hospital because of an art project gone beautifully wrong. Nobody wants that. And actually, before I do all that, did I just pause it? No, okay. Trying to do it from an angle where I can see it, where you guys can see it. But that's how much paper that was left. How much paper shreds was left at the bottom of the bowl that I couldn't really, sorry, that was the glove, that I couldn't really get because of how deep that bowl is. Jesus. And then just kind of shake it, even though it's not going to move much. And if it's like this last little bit, I wouldn't really say worry about, you know, hard squeezing it out. But like, and I do not push on these kind of strainers because they will break. I found that out the hard way because I did it to a smaller one. This was also another 3 set. And I barely put any pressure on the side, and one of the support pieces snapped. So try to do that. Just try to like gather it up in the corner, kind of just pick it up with your fingers. And you really don't have to worry about cleaning this out, especially the strainer, because it's just it's kind of just like what it's for. So, gonna take off the good gloves. And I'm actually going to fill that bowl in a second, so give me one moment. Hi, puppy. Hi, my king beauty. What you doing, Duncan? Duncan is just sitting at the window like, what are you doing, Mama? I want to know. I want to be a part of things too, Mom. I'm not going to use this bowl for anything really that I can think of. So I'm just going to tip my strainer in the draining board. And I'm going to fill this up with water. It doesn't matter if it's hot or if it's cold. It doesn't really matter. Kind of takes a little bit. Like, this clearly shows how deep this bowl is. Like, Jesus. So it's almost filled to the top with water. I don't think you're really going to need this much water on it, honestly. But better safe than sorry, because you never know. Set you guys over there. Hi, puppies. Okay, now we're down in the bathroom for the now. And so far, so good on my timing, so I'm good with this. So, unfortunately, I'm going to actually have to do the rest of this on the floor. Just because I don't have an extension cord like I used to. I know we have a ton in here. Like, I'm pretty sure if I look hard enough, I could probably find at least 10. But, actually here. Ooh, I probably shouldn't tip that over there. So I'm going to move this right, excuse me, right over there. And then I'm going to pull my, excuse me, Jesus. I swear to God, these hiccup burps are just tearing my throat up today. Puppy! Is that your mousey? Yeah, I tried to hit you in your butt and it didn't work. Hold on, I gotta kinda reposition myself. Ta-da! It's a blender, so it's gonna get very, very loud. I didn't do the warning in the beginning, but I will definitely put it in the title so everybody knows that this might be kind of loud. But I don't run it too long. Just long enough to get a point across. So I'm gonna slide this over here. There we go. And this should actually be able to reach it. This is actually one of my favorite blenders. It's the only blender we have, but this is actually something you can like use both sides. You can. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. No, you don't. Go booga booga, my piggy boy. Oh, my piggy boy. Say hi, everybody. Duncan, say hi, everybody. All right. And there goes my big butt. I would say, do you mind keep scooting your boot? Anyway, you don't have to go out and buy another blender if you already have one. Like, if you already have one at home, you can use it for making paper too. you just need hot water or hot soapy water, like piping hot. Well, no, like, yeah, just hot soapy water will get the job done. But like really make sure you let it soak though, so it gets like every bit of the paper pulp out of it and off of it. And son of a doodle snacks. Always sending me random things. How dare you, sir? And this is actually brand new. Like, I've only used this maybe twice. So the lid is a little stiff. So still, if it seems like I still don't know what I'm doing with it, that's probably brand new. See? Don't worry about taking out the blade or anything like that. I'm actually going to keep it on the stand itself, because the power is off. And I tend to start with the paper first and then add the water. So everything's in line. We've got plenty of lighting. I can probably fit all of this in here. But like I was saying before in the bathroom, the only reason why I squeeze out all the water is for, like, if I'm not gonna do it this. Oh, okay. If I'm not gonna do it today, kind of thing, then I just have it there waiting for me tomorrow. I am gonna have to double check, because I'm pretty sure once you squeeze the water out, it's good for a week. But I'm not too sure on that. I want to say it's at least 2 weeks. But I'm going to say a week just to, like, be on that safe side kind of thing. Like I try to be. Yeah, I should be able to do all this. And by the looks of this might be able... I'm, like, really trying to think on this. I'm like, this actually might be enough for at least... Depending on what size I use, maybe 5 to 10 pieces. Again, depending on... I'm just going to get some of this excess off from last time I used it. Like 5 to 10 pieces of paper. But it also is going to depend on what size deck you're using. Because if you're using the large one, I would probably say... maybe 5, because it's really big and it does take up a lot of paper pulp. But if you're using between the small and the medium, that's about 5 to 10 pieces. 10 if it's the small, and then medium is probably going to be that 5. And I don't put all the water in there. I actually let it settle, so it's like right to here right now. So a little under that half. Oh, wait, hold on. I can't really read it. I keep forgetting there's also a measuring piece here too. But basically right where my finger is from here to the base. So it's actually a good amount to start off with. And then for me, I always do low. But this is going to get really loud, so I am so sorry in advance. Please don't yell at me. But very loud warning. Not really. So I let that go for just a little bit, and then I'm going to shove some of the sides down. Oh, God. Oh, it sucks getting up from that position now. Holy crap. For me, I have these. So I don't really have an actual, like like something to actually poke it down with. So I just have this plastic spoon from a friend of me, or a friend of Snacks of mine, or a friend of mine and Snacks. It's Snacks' friend. It's Snacks' coworker. But this is from her baby shower, so I like it. I actually used it a few times for like cooking. Like not really like hot cooking kind of thing, but like stir up like I think it was like tuna salad or something like that I made shortly after the baby shower we went to. But I originally wanted this for Clay, and then my brain's like, no, use it as the poker. You shove it down more. Which, yeah, it works, but I do miss my favorite poker. It's all squishy and yucky sounding. Fine, I'm gonna squish you in the water. And I'm gonna add a little bit more water to get the rest of it blended down. So at that point, it's pretty much covering the paper itself. And then back to the loud noise. Sorry. And then every so often, check on it and like stuff it back down kind of thing, so it all gets blended up. I actually added a little bit too much water. So I'm just going to put that right in the bowl. And I'm going to let it go one more time, and then I'm going to dump it out in the bowl. Okay, I might have messed this up, which honestly wouldn't be the first time. Here, let me just turn that off. So it's not too bad, but there is a lot of moisture in here, which, again, it's not really wrong, but it's not really, like... It's not incorrect, but it's not really correct. It's just, I kind of misjudged severely. And I'm going to put it in the Red Bull. You know what? No, yeah, I'm just going to put it in the Red Bull. But it's not really going to matter anyway, because it will actually help. Like, if you do have a little bit of too much water in there, it kind of does help a little bit. Unplug that. Like, it does kind of help it a little bit for it not to, like, stick to the bowl. And if you have a bowl, well, you can't really tell, but I still have, like, some paper residue on the sides of it. So it will kind of help it out, like, help clean it a little bit. Not really clean it, but kind of there. And then, ugh. Oh god, that sounds so crunchy. And just tap off from the side of the blades on the bowl, because it will get stuck in there. And like I said, it's okay to have a little bit too much moisture, and this is just going to be a super duper easy clean. Just going to scrape up some of that excess. Get off my thumb. But yeah, it kind of looks like wet dog food. Actually, no, what? Because that's going to bug me. Like, it is already bugging me. So if you have too much water, which I kind of wish I did this another way, like for the camera setup, let's get it this way. But like, I can't really see it. There it is. Like, you can tell there's too much moisture in there kind of thing. So I'm just going to pour out the excess moisture into the blue bowl and then just dump it out later. And you don't really need a glove for this or anything like that. Basically, all you're going to want to do is just hold the pulp back with your hand as you strain it out. Ew. It always feels so weird when you go to, like, pour some of the moisture back and out. Yeah, I think I added way too much water this time around. Again, there isn't really a wrong way or a right way when you're doing this part. It's just, I'm still getting used to this. Like, I'm still kind of learning as I go kind of thing. So it's okay if you lose some in the water itself. It's not gonna... not gonna make much of a difference, really. I'm just gonna throw my little hand in there to get that excess pulp off my hand. Pulp off of my hand. Still, this is still a learning process even for me. So I'm still learning as I go, because there's even there's some things like I'm still learning about, like I was just saying. I don't know why I'm repeating myself again. And yeah, there's some things I already kind of know what to expect from it. Found a piece of paper on my leg. So that's gonna go up there. And then when you're done straining out all of the excess water, you will... That is my hand. You will have pulp. Paper pulp. All kinds of paper. Now, it does look really dark, but when it dries... Well, while I'm doing this, I could be getting that strained out. I'm just gonna put that back on the table. Oh my god, me trying to get up is not the greatest of things some days. But, the paper pulp is going to look somewhat dark, but when it dries, though, it'll be a little bit lighter. Sometimes. It also depends on what you're using. I had a piece of paper up there. It's also depending on what paper you're using, how much cardboard you have. Oh, excuse me. It also depends on how much cardboard you have in there, how much newspaper you have in there. But yeah, that wasn't too much pulp. It was literally like not even worth the pour out. Hold on. So yeah, basically when you're like, it's gonna look darker than what it is, but when it dries though, it tends to lighten up a little bit. So the little bit of pulp that did come out was literally that much from just straining it by hand. So that's probably gonna be in the next experiment. Is when I'm done blending it next time around, I'm gonna see how much of a difference there would be if I would strain it as if I was finishing up a round of paper. But yeah, that is actually your first few parts of making paper pulp. Actually sounds fun saying paper pulp. It's like me and saying pine. Pine is very calming, shockingly, and I don't know why. I don't even know how it got started. It just one day happened. And don't really worry about the cleanup kind of thing. Or at least I don't really worry about the cleanup unless, you have like that everything needs to be clean as soon as it's done being used kind of thing. So that's an all you partner. That like the cleanup process is a you thing. But for me, I just let it. I really don't like this chair some days. But for me, I just let it hang out for just a little bit, and then once I'm done getting the rest of the paper process set up and things, then I'll go back and clean everything down. Except for the blender. Oops. Except for the blender, I am definitely going to go ahead and put that in a hot soapy water to get that going while this video is uploading. But yeah, it's actually a really easy process to making paper. I know people have like an hour-long video of start to finish, but I can't really do that at the moment. Just because I don't have that time. Like I have the time, I don't have any paper backup kind of thing cuz you don't even have to soak it for a full 24 hours. Some people do it for like a few hours, maybe like 5 to 6 hours and then start blending everything, but I personally like the 24 hours. But again, it's to each their own. It really is. If you like doing it one way, then go off forth, do it that way. If you like doing it another way, go off forth. Kind of like, I don't know, find what you're comfortable with doing and then go on with that process. I'm like really thirsty. But like I said, for me, I personally like doing the 24 hours because then I can just let it go while I get some housework done or work on the next art project and all that good stuff. But yeah, that is how you make paper pulp. So I will definitely see you guys in the next video, which would be me setting up the water bucket, water something. I don't really know what the actual thing is for it. Basically, the water part that you mix the pulp in to make the paper so you can shift everything through or sift everything through with the decks and stuff like that. I'm probably going to do one of each size just so you guys can see like how big each of the papers are, even though I already have some done. I have a whole box to hi puppies. Baby, what you doing, silly boy? Duncan just like slowly crept in here like, oh crap, okay. But I'm probably going to end up doing one of each size and stuff like that so you guys can see the so you guys can see what they look like and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm gonna go get that blender soaking real quick. So I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm definitely putting in the title, Loud Noises, and then the actual title itself. So should have warned you guys in the beginning, but I didn't think about it for some reason. But my brain's been scattered and all. My brain's just been mush. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.